Let me ask first about the purchase of Opel and Vauxhall. Were there any other options? Was any other brand considered?
Well, it's first a big opportunity for the PSA Group to become a European automotive champion that currently does not exist in this region of the world. So the discussion was very intense, very smooth, very constructive, and I would say there are no other options. But this one was, I think, a win-win approach for both General Motors and also for the PSA Group. So having this perspective of an European automotive champion ahead of us, I think we could quickly find convergence in the talks, and I trust that our employees from Opel have the potential to make this company a great company, and we will of course leverage everything we have learned from the turnaround of the PSA Group and propose this to the Opel team to make sure that they have the right references, the right benchmarks, so that they can accelerate their own turnaround, and we will together, doing so, unleash the potential of Opel.
And of course, its sister brand, Vauxhall in Britain. Does this make, for you, Brexit more difficult, more stressful, or does it almost offer you a better solution in case of a hard Brexit?
No, I think it's exactly the opposite. I think that having the opportunity to leverage two such iconic brands like Opel and Vauxhall is a big opportunity for a company like ours. We can enlarge our brand portfolio, address a wider range of customers, and of course, if we have manufacturing footprint in the UK, if we have a hard Brexit, as an example, then it's much better to source from inside than in other circumstances. So I think, in any case, if you look at the different scenarios, because of course, neither you nor me, we don't know what will exactly happen, I think we have more options on the table that we can leverage to find our own way in this very chaotic world.
You've said that you can do this merger, at least for now, without any job cuts, any factory closures. Are you concerned that if there's a downturn in the European auto market, you may have to go back and cut costs?
I think what is most important is to understand that nowadays, in a very chaotic environment, what we need to be is agile. Agility is the most important thing to move around based on all the chaotic things that may happen. What I would like to say also is that we trust human people. We trust them. We start always by improving the performance, by giving the appropriate best practices, by sharing those best practices and making sure that we give people a chance to demonstrate their talent. And people are good. People are willing to do more things, better things. So by giving them a context in which they can leverage all the things that have been done by PSA, I trust that the Opel and the Vauxhall employees will be able to step up in their own performance. And this is the real protection they are looking for. The only protection they can have is the one that comes from their performance, and we will help them to enhance their performance.
What do you think about the consolidation in Europe? Is it set to continue?
Well, I don't know. You know, there is something called antitrust in Europe, which is a limitation to the consolidation. So I really don't know. I think this partnership between Opel and PSA is a very good one. I think it goes to the maximum potential of consolidation that we can see today. But of course, the future will tell. I don't really know if there is more potential, but this one is going to give us a much better chance for the future, that's for sure.
Did you have any antitrust concerns doing this deal? Did you have to address those with regulators, and if so, how?
Of course, this is the final decision of regulators, but as much as we know from the current rules, we don't think there is any problem.
What if you decided to go for more? Is that a possibility, because there are other brands in Europe that are still looking for partners?
Well, we are always open for discussion, as you know. We are business people, we are open-minded, but we also need to realize that we need to consolidate everything we do. We have just consolidated the turnaround of PSA, it was a success. Now we want to succeed in helping Opel and Vauxhall to turn around themselves and become healthy, profitable, and sustainable companies, and then we'll see what will come next. Anyway, what is important is that we have a sound foundation, both in technology, in financials, in talent. This is what is important. So let's consolidate this step and we'll see what comes next.
I know you're very busy with this consolidation, the integration, but when you're done with that, what's the end goal for Peugeot? Do you want to be the biggest in Europe? Do you want to be bigger on a world stage?
No, certainly we are not looking at being the biggest. This is not our strategy. If you look at the automotive industry history, all the companies that have been chasing the biggest spot for the sake of being the biggest have failed. It is not our strategy. What we want is to do things right, in the right way. This is what we want to do. As a consequence, we may grow, but the growth will be the consequence of a well-done job. So our strategy is definitely not to become the biggest. But if there are opportunities, of course, we'll try to grasp them, because that will help to invest even more in technology, in driverless cars, in connectivity, in lower emissions. All of this, of course, is a positive circle that we want to be in.
What about other markets? When I was a kid in America, Peugeot was a premium brand there that more affluent people reached for to aspire to. Is that a possibility, the U.S. market entry?
Well, you know, everybody who is passionate about motorsports knows that Peugeot has won 3 times the Indy 500, which is quite surprising for the young generation. But of course, we will be willing to go back to North America. This is our plan, but we will start with the mobility services, because we understand that the most important, if we want to come back in a successful way to North America, is first to understand the needs of the US consumers. And that's the most important thing at this stage, is to understand what they are looking for and how can we make them happy. This is the reason why we will start with the mobility services, and from there, if we are successful, we can consider other opportunities.